As soon as my husband got to work, he texted me. He's like, "You are not going to be happy." And he's right. I am not happy. I am so upset. And I'll show you why when we get outside. Just finished my coffee. We're going to go out. I'm going to show you. I am angry. I am very angry at this whole situation. I was angry yesterday, thinking it was a squirrel. It's not a squirrel. I think it's a raccoon. So let's go take a look at the damage and we're going to fix it. If you've ever had a Greenstalk fall, let me know. I've never had a... This pot got demolished. I had tried to save it a little bit, but it was all scattered. It looked horrible. A little more aggressive than a normal squirrel activity. And then somebody had moved this whole thing over. They must have been very strong, a little stronger than a squirrel, maybe. And then look, this is what we woke up to. So in the middle of the night, somebody came over here and did this. Look at my beautiful lettuce. My poor dill. Aww. I will try to salvage what I can, but I think what they've been going after, because yesterday morning a lot of my potatoes were missing. They had dug up my potatoes. I think a raccoon would do that more so than a squirrel. All right, let's get busy. You can see that my winter potato experiment was growing and doing well after a hard freeze. All of the foliage died back, and now it's starting to put on new growth. So is this bottom layer over here with a different variety of potatoes. Those actually are doing better than these guys. Poor things. Here's a hack for trying to get your Greenstalk lined up. As you could tell by the pictures, I did not have that one quite on perfectly. I always go around and visually check, and I saw that one of them was off quite a bit. So sometimes I do this to help line them up as I'm bringing it down onto the bottom tier. Now I can just remove that stick. However, I'm wondering if my bottom tier has warped, because these two sides over here I cannot get to fit properly. And I tried another layer from a different, that top one up there, and it did the same thing. It did not fit quite right. I mean, it feels stable. I can shake it, but I don't think that's normal, so I may have to contact Greenstalk. Some of these I've had for 3 years. I figure out what's going on with that bottom tier. I'm leaving that stick in there. I will contact Greenstalk, send them some pictures, and you can see that it doesn't quite fit down onto the spinner like my other two. I still have squirrels. I still possibly have a raccoon, so we're still going to proceed as if I need to protect this, because they are climbing on here. Surprisingly, this level wasn't damaged too much. These pixie cabbages look okay. And this is where I had New Zealand spinach last summer, and I wonder if that is what is coming back. So I'm going to leave that. I don't think it's a weed. And then this is my winter lemon savory. Also lemon winter savory that probably is gone. So we'll leave this one and take out that one. I have an empty pocket here. I've done that winter savory and it wasn't budging. So I went ahead and trimmed this guy up, and then I put the cuttings over here and a couple here. So they may root. Kind of treating it like thyme. If that's true, it will root. I'm going to leave that just in case it is that New Zealand spinach. We're going to trim up some of these leaves, and I'm going to put some mosquito bits in here because I saw a couple fungus gnats. Got these trimmed up, but I'm realizing they are actually in the process of starting to bolt. So I may go ahead and harvest these and then cook them up as like an Asian green in the next few days. And I found this little lid I'm going to put over that guy just in case it is the spinach, New Zealand spinach. And then I wanted to show y'all that I'm finding lots of eggs. So all of these leaves are covered in these little egg things. Don't think that they're cabbage, looper eggs. but I have seen some caterpillars, not caterpillars, the moths, the butterflies the last couple days. We're going to throw those into the trash and pull these guys out real quick. Everything, I just leave the root intact in the Greenstalk and then just cut it at soil level. But with the brassicas, if you leave, for me, I have found if I leave that stem in the root ball, it will start trying to grow again. So I'm just going to clean up these roots, get these into maybe just a cup of water so they'll be fresh for the next few days. And then we will just chop them up and do like a stir fry or something like that. Good boy. Okay, now we're on to the 4th level, which had some of my wildfire lettuce growing and some of the little crunch peas. I think this one might actually survive because the bamboo stick broke its fall. I think it would have got more damaged if I didn't have those sticks in there. So let's get this one cleaned up too. I think I'll go ahead, I'll cut all the lettuce, do like a cut and come again. For these bigger ones, the little ones should be okay. So I think I may go ahead and put some diatomaceous earth in here as well. Well, we have made it to the final top layer, which is dill. This was all tetra dill, and it looks pretty rough. Thinking about trying to salvage some and maybe relocate some if possible. You can see the root system of dill. It's a really long taproot. It's not gonna like being relocated. I really hate that because it was starting to put on a lot of new growth. Poor thing. Okay, so it's mostly back together. I have several empty cups at this point. So I think what I'm going to do is relocate a couple things and put some seeds in here. And then guess what came in the mail? I ordered it yesterday after the potatoes were dug up. These are mesh nets that go on big shrubs, and I am hopeful, cross my fingers, that they fit the Greenstalk because we're going to completely cover the Greenstalk. All right, I just relocated 2 of the dwarf kales and the 5-spot flower. Looks a little rough, but you can see for sure there is an issue with that tier. It has kind of, I do believe it's the bottom tier. So I'm going to put bunch of onions in these 2 cups here. I'm going to put nasturtium in that one. And then on the very top, we are going to put the beets because they need a lot of good sun. I think that maybe the dill might survive, not sure. But I'm going to go ahead and seed this whole level with the beet blend. And these are really old seeds, so I'm going to overseed quite a bit. Going to go ahead and put the rosemary in one of the larger cups. And then I thought for a very fun experiment, I have 3 of the glacier tomatoes that germinated. They're supposed to be cold tolerant. These 2 in the back look really kind of wonky. So I'm going to volunteer them. I'll put 1 in each of the bigger cups, and then I will cover it with this little dome I just made and see what happens, just for fun. And then I'll keep this nice looking seedling here in the front for me, take it back in the house, treat it like my other tomatoes. You can really see now that the tier is not fitting on there properly. Really need to get that addressed as soon as possible. But I do have this completely seeded and or planted. There are no empty pockets. And I've got my experiments going here. Put in the rosemary from the kitchen that I had rooted in water. And I don't really care for glacier. At least I did in the year I grew it. So if this doesn't work out, that's perfectly fine. Alright guys, now we're moving on to protection from the squirrels. So I'm going to spray the netting. And I did put a few forks in there for a little ouchie effect if they start climbing up. But this is what it looks like. It looks like a ghost. Not sure if I love this setup, but I think it will help it will prevent cabbage moths, but it'll also prevent the birds from coming in and eating caterpillars, aphids, other bugs. I'm going to try this for the squirrels, at least for a week or two, and see how I like it. Smelly cologne, perfume, stuff that my girls don't want anymore because of my dog, Mr. Tonto. Oh, he's watching a squirrel. Look, I hope he gets him. There he is. Good boy. Anyway, so I use stuff like this instead of the smelly deer spray because Tonto would be going after that smell. He doesn't seem to pay attention to this smell, but I do think it might deter deer, squirrel, chipmunk, etc. Maybe. I've used this out front with the deer, and I think actually it may be helping. So we'll see. Get my other Greenstalks completed. I am going to sprinkle some ground pepper in the Greenstalk pockets, and especially down on my potatoes. Hopefully that will deter them as well. It is smelling kind of fancy out here right now with that spray. And the sun is trying to peek out, but I've got a few things to do before the rain starts, and that would include cleaning up this big mess that I have made. So I hope you guys are having a great gardening day, and I will talk to you soon. Any suggestions, please comment below. I need all that I can get. Thanks. I started to move this after I said goodbye to you guys, and it started to tumble. I was able to save it, was able to get that off and remove the tears before it fell. I did go ahead and take this one out, and I think this is the problem. I think maybe it's just warped out of shape slightly. You can see there's a really pulley in there too. Throw him away. Alright guys, well, I'm going to put the net back on and hope for the best.